Welcome back to the Over the Top podcast. I'm Nick. I'm here with my good friends and Brandon.
Juan.
And I'm Chris.
That was cute.
How's everyone doing?
I'm good, man. It's ugly outside.
It's good. You know, there's a lot to be happy about today on this
Spring
beautiful
and
Sunday.
Val, what are you happy about?
Got some big win today. You know, I had to show it off a little bit, but yeah.
I think
3
we
points.
all
Liverpool's undefeated run continues. So I'm happy. Are you guys happy?
We all had decent outcomes this weekend, though. I got 3 points. You got a point. You're in the process of getting 3 points.
I got a point, but my main team's playing right now, so let's see what happens.
This was also
let's see what happens in the Madrid game.
This is my best week in fantasy ever.
Oh, you referring to fantasy?
Fantasy Premier League. You know what I'm saying? I've never played before. This is my first season. 52.
Once I saw I was in 9th place, I lost track. I don't know if I'm going to play anymore.
That shit is lit, though. Let us know if you want me to, if you want us to consult. Nick is like the director of operations for my club right now.
Did that role just start today?
I'm the sporting director.
No, he was in the role silently for a few weeks, but we're now ready
public.
to move forward and announce everything. So, congratulations. It's an honor. But let's get started. Let's get down to business. The UEFA Champions League.
Number one league in the world is back. None other than
Saudi's been playing.
None other than the Champions League. Thankfully, European competition is back.
MashaAllah.
Pretty exciting. Some teams that haven't been in for a while are back in the league, like Newcastle, for example.
Spicy.
Yeah.
First time in like 25 years they're back in Europe.
And what a group to come back into.
Yeah, right? What a welcome.
But that's how you want to start it.
Unlucky.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you want to go back. You want to go right back into the fire.
Nothing like the group of death, which includes Newcastle, AC Milan,
PSG Dortmund, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking about Newcastle, they didn't they were dominated by possession by Milan. Milan had majority of the chances to score. It was a 0-0 draw, so it was a good result for them, and away from home as well.
Wait, did anyone see that back heel that Rafael Leao?
Yes. Why did he do that? Like, why couldn't he just shoot it? Like, I have no idea why he tried that. But,
Man.
Yeah, AC Milan looked good. I mean, they also had the home advantage, and Newcastle's, hey, they're not used to playing in Champions League, so maybe that midweek game, but they bounced back strong today for sure.
Historic.
Going to the San Siro,
winning 8-0.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad result.
right?
Definitely
Like, that's got to be something that you have to take momentum from.
No, especially because they also got dominated throughout the whole play. So from the beginning to the end of the game. It was a good result on their end. You can't ever be disappointed with the 1 point coming back home, or
especially in that kind of group.
Yeah, so if you look at that group, where do you think they would finish? Dead
Third.
last before a ball is kicked? Was that where people were predicting Newcastle to finish?
I gave them third.
Yeah.
I had them above Dortmund.
Okay.
If I'm coming clean.
Yeah,
I think my prediction was PSG, AC Milan, Newcastle, Dortmund in that league.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
That's not a bad.
So that's going to be a group to look out for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of interest in that one.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, AC Milan really reinforced a lot of their positions with selling Sandro to Newcastle.
Yeah, Tonali, I was hoping he'd have a pretty big game against his former team. In an interesting situation, it seemed like he was a player who definitely wanted to be there and I guess really take those next steps in his career in Milan, and them kind of just selling him to the top bidder. It was kind of tough to see, but I think Newcastle's going to be a good home for him, even though he's having a little bit of an adjustment period so far.
Yep. And also I think AC Milan, Rafael Leao is bound to have some type of breakout season, whether it's this year or next year. I feel like.
Oh, what did you say? He already had it though? Isn't he kind of already on the scene as the next big star to come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about producing an absurd amount of goals, like off the wing, you know. Because I feel like he has the ability to do that. Sometimes he just
He stops back healing, trying
yeah,
to back into the net.
the final product might not always be there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but he's definitely like broken out in Italy, where I think it was 2 seasons ago, where AC Milan won the title. He like won the MVP in Italy. Now it's like the MVP instead of, I guess, like a football writers award or something like that we see in England. But I guess that'd be great if he could really be like that talisman for AC Milan that we've seen over the years, like the Kakas, Shevchenkos, players of that caliber.
I'm surprised you named him. I thought you didn't rate him like that.
Huh?
I thought you didn't rate Kaká like that.
I personally don't, but I do respect that he's the last AC Milan player to win a Ballon d'Or.
Okay.
You know, AC Milan were just in the semifinal of the Champions League last year, too. So they really should be looking to do that, you know, the same or if
Did
not
they
better.
play Inter? They played Inter.
Yeah. Milan derby to get to the
We
finals.
spoke about the away and home not mattering anymore, right?
Yeah, I'm sure we
Yeah, we
mentioned
addressed that
the
before.
change of the rules, but Milan are exciting side, so hopefully that continues. You know, if they can come out of that group, that would be it's really a coin toss at this point who's going to come out. PSG the favorite, but I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, and PSG always somehow ends up fumbling in Champions League.
Yo,
In
I
Champions
don't know what
League.
it is.
Historically, that's
yeah.
definitely a fact. And even watching their first game, even though they came out with a 2-0 win against Dortmund, I'll say that they didn't look great. It is the first game, but I know me and Juan have spoken about it a bunch of times, of seeing PSG like their weakest point definitely being their midfield.
Yeah.
With the current state of it, I couldn't see them getting out of the round of 16. It's a long season. I do like Luis Enrique as a coach, so I trust him to really build that team. And, you know, he's very much has like that Spanish style of the 4-3-3, attacking football, possession-based. So we'll see how they progress throughout the year. But
this is also their first season without Messi, so it's kind of like they got to rebuild again.
Yeah, without Messi, without Neymar, they're definitely in. It's a different team.
Different way of going about it.
The quote unquote bling bling era, as they say at PSG, they say is over.
I don't know. They still have money to throw around.
Definitely, but it seems like they're choosing like younger on the come up type stars.
And Mbappe's
this time
boys
around.
too.
I mean, the win now spending hasn't worked.
And Mbappe's boys.
They just
Getting
get
all the French national team to
I mean,
play in Paris.
if I'm paying you that much, I might as well make you happy, and your friends don't suck. So. It's not like Giannis with his brothers just taking him to us, but I need to win, but to play my brothers too. No, bro.
I mean, Mbappe's brother is on the team, but he's only 16.
He's like what, 12?
Yeah.
Like,
He's on the first team now, though.
Yeah, and he's
training.
He looks like a player, so we'll see how he turns out.
Is it like Kyle? What's his name?
Ethan.
Yeah.
Kyle and Killian, if they were twins. Ethan and Mbappe.
But there were some other blockbuster games that, you know, this past Champions League round. Another high one on, I know Brandon's priority was Bayern versus Man United.
Yeah.
That rematch of the 99 Champions League final, United winning that last second. So I think
far from those stakes.
Listen, that was like
and skill level.
That was the worst 4-3 game I've ever seen in my life.
Yo,
and the fact that United was able to score 3 goals on Bayern, just like they
the
played
scoreline
horrible.
is very misleading.
But if you saw that final result,
It should have been like, if you see the final result without watching the game, you think, oh, this was an amazing game. Did you see Casemiro's goal and he's on the floor?
Yo, I think he's on his last legs.
Yo, and then he scored a nice header at the end with Bruno's assist. And then what was the first one for United? I forget.
Hoyland scored.
Yeah, that was another garbage goal. Like,
they all count
they count the same, but like, I mean, Bayern deserve
No, I get what you're saying.
I would give Bayern like a 4-1 win if after watching that game.
Hey,
you know
3 points or 3 points.
And it being a
at the end of the day, the goal differential does matter. If you
That's
when
true.
you, so
That
like
is
the
true.
fact that United was able to score 3, that's good, and they're gonna have to play Bayern at home. So we'll see what happens there. If they pull out a 1-0 result, like or 2-0 or 2-1. You never
Yeah,
know.
A quick
Optimistic,
tidbit. You know, I kind of like the romanticism of soccer. So it was cool seeing. I don't know if any of you saw Hoyland during the anthem. He was like, you could just see how happy he was to be there, playing his first Champions League game, I believe. And not only that, but like for United, where he grew up like a boyhood United fan. It was nice that he scored his first goal, his first Champions League goal for them.
That's fire.
So
First Champions League game, first Champions
That
League
was
goal.
cool.
That's tough.
United definitely need like those players with the passion of the club.
That's how I felt about Hannibal when he scored his goal. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a while. I like that. He was a crest kiss away from me being like, this is our new. This is what we need in the team.
Who else is in the group with Bayern and United? Is it also?
Let me see.
It's Galatasaray and Copenhagen.
Okay, so that on paper, that's just the
They sound
majority
winnable.
favorite should be United and Bayern to get out of that group.
Correct, yeah.
So would it be a disappointment if United don't make it out of that group, but then progress far in the
It would
Europa
be a
League?
complete disaster. You might
I mean,
just not call yourself Manchester United anymore after that. If you do not qualify out of that group with Copenhagen and Galatasaray in there, please, don't talk about United anymore on this podcast.
He's not bugging.
Like, what if that leads you to get?
I know you feel the same way, Brandon.
That's why I said but
I guess the question from that Val's kind of posing is like, what would you prefer, a Europa League final or a Champions League round of 16 exit?
semi-final Champions League. If you can give me that, I'll
I
take
said
it.
round of
that was-
16.
Yeah, but I said give me a semi-final.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you can give me a semi-final, I'll take that.
Wait, you want a semifinal, a Europa League semifinal over?
No. Champions League semifinal over just like, we won the second best
So
league.
then, what about the question?
Oh, okay.
Knockout stage exit or getting to a Europa League final?
I don't accept the question. No, I'm playing. I guess the final is hardware. Winning is better than losing. Like, I'm not trying to.
That means you didn't make it out of a group with Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
Hey, at least we still won something.
But that's a chance at silverware. I'm taking the Europa League.
Yeah,
final
I'm
over the knockout
absolutely.
stage. But yeah, then you just have to deal with a little bit of embarrassment for a short period of time. That Copenhagen and
It's been-
Galatasaray.
12 years, 13
I'm suffering.
We're not new to this, bro. We true to this. This isn't something that's like, listen,
Yeah.
I am embarrassed for the first time.
Moving on to other games, let's talk about a little bit about Barcelona and the impact that João Felix and João Cancelo have made on this team
João
so
and
far.
João.
Jow season.
That
5 goals
Portuguese
last week,
connection.
5 goals midweek, 3 goals this weekend against Celta Vigo with their comeback in the last couple of minutes. And I feel like they're either assisting or scoring goals.
Right.
They're making some type of impact.
Which I love. And I'll say more than that. I mean, obviously the most important thing is being clinical in that end product. But if you actually just watch Barcelona play, the way they fit so seamlessly into that team, and it seems like they're really playing Barcelona style again, the team, more than I'd say like the last year or so. And
Well, it also takes the load off of Lewandowski because last year they were so reliant on him to just be a 30-year goal scorer, 30 goals a year, scorer. So for now that they have the quality of João Felix and the creativity of Cancelo on the wing, it opens up a lot of different scoring and creativity options for Barca. So it's great to see.
Cancelo is so versatile.
Yeah,
If you
he can
watch
play
yesterday's
anywhere on the
game,
pitch.
they were down 2-0 with 10 minutes left, and by the time the second goal went in, they kind of just pushed Cancelo fully into midfield.
Yeah, scored the game winner.
That's like the typical Johan Cruyff Barcelona style, having players that can be comfortable in any position. And special note to João Felix, a player that I've been really big on for a long time, is that I love that with Dembele leaving in the summer, it's like he's not even missed with what João Felix is doing currently. So
No, it's
Good
just they
on
got to
him.
make it a permanent deal, though. Atletico might play hardball, trying to demand
now
top dollar.
Especially if he has
Once they
a
see
breakout
today's
season.
price is not today's
When is his
price.
contract? Until 2026?
It's a 1-year loan. Oh, you're talking about his Atletico
Yeah, it's
contract?
a Atletico
I'm not
contract.
sure when that ends.
Probably a long term.
Yeah, it was a pretty long contract when he first signed. But no, I'm definitely happy for him because he seems like he's happy being at Barca. And it's something that, I mean, he said for a long time, he was like, I've always wanted
Another one
to play for Barca.
Dream was to play.
And João
Those are
Cancelo
the best players.
even said he's like, the best team in the world right now is Manchester City, but when Barcelona comes calling, I can't say no. So, I mean, he's always trying to just throw some shade at City.
There's truth to that. To say, you could say the same thing about Madrid. You know, it's just one of those teams where
you can't really ever be like, no, I'm going somewhere else. Yeah. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Barca makes a good run in Champions League or makes it to even like semifinals. Hey, even finals at this point, because realistically, the only teams that I can see that can compete for that trophy really this year is City, Bayern, Madrid, Barca,
United,
and Arsenal.
You said
Arsenal. My guy said Arsenal.
Yo, don't sleep.
Wait, why
that's
not Arsenal?
I don't think that's a crazy take.
I'll be honest. I'm not really liking Arsenal right now.
I don't think they don't. Yeah, I'm with you, Nick.
They seem like a little disjointed.
All right, but
the team doesn't seem very balanced.
I don't know. Soccer gets me a lot of points.
So if you were to choose 5 teams right now, right?
All right, yeah.
Out of all the
you're
teams,
putting up to 5, I guess I could sneak them in there. But when I say like favorites, maybe like I'm thinking of the top 3 teams. I don't really put Arsenal up there with City and Bayern and Madrid.
Yeah,
could even throw Barca.
They're like
in
that
there.
that next step down for sure. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they surprise me.
You have City doing the 2-peat.
it's highly
Not
probable.
exactly, but yeah, I would.
It's not unlikely. You're not wrong.
It's not unlikely.
Yeah,
I think City has the strongest team by far.
Yeah.
Not by
City
far,
should
but
be
like
the
they
favorite.
definitely have the
But
strongest
Bayern,
team.
you can't forget about Bayern Munich as well. You know, they brought in Harry Kane for this real sole purpose of winning the Champions League.
And they're deep in the other position on the wings. You have Gnabry, Zane,
Tell.
Yeah, I was gonna get the Tell, and Kingsley Coman.
Boy, is nice.
That's
your
rate
guy.
that you.
They
bro.
brought in Kim Min-jae from Napoli in the summer,
Yeah.
good center back. Hopefully Neuer comes back healthy soon, and you know Bayern's gonna do Bayern things. But like Juan said, I think Matheus Tell is definitely one of those players who's next up that we're gonna be seeing.
He scored a class goal during the week against United. Actually,
And he
took
scored
it down
this
with his
weekend again.
thigh and just hit it one time. And he only played like 10 minutes. So for him to come in and make that impact.
He reminds me of like a young Martial, kind of like when Martial first got to United, and he was very like decisive. And
playing off the left hand side.
He's shifty
not so
too.
much central.
He can.
yeah, he definitely
really
seems like
dribble
one of
the
those
ball.
wingers that like he'll learn his trade and eventually move into that
in,
center forward role. And actually, just in an interview, he talked about how he's really loved playing with Harry Kane so far, and Harry Kane is like training him in a lot of things about his timing and kind of like bringing him under his wing. So that's a great person to learn from.
Yeah, it's a solid mentor.
So it's cool seeing that cycle in soccer where I've seen Harry Kane talk about how Jermaine Defoe and Robbie Keane, but especially Defoe, taught him like a lot of those things about timing and striking the ball.
Being a true center forward.
Yeah.
Kane got a hat trick over the weekend too. So that's it seems like he's assimilating very well in the German culture.
Listen, if you could do it in Skechers, shout out to you.
That's a good deal, bro.
Yeah, so I mean that's I think we got the favorites for the Champions League, but no Liverpool this year.
Unfortunately,
They'll be winning the Europa League.
Tune into the Europa League, y'all.
Thursday nights.
Thursday.
Had to put that in there, but no, I feel like maybe we should all go through like. It'd be nice if we all go through like maybe the groups and pick our
favorites.
We
favorites.
make our
and-
brackets, right?
Yeah.
A little
Yeah.
bracket together.
So you want to put that together and come back with it next week, or you want to like do it off the fly, or on the fly?
We can just look up. We just pull up the.
Yeah, we can pull it up and then
Yeah, we'll
pick
fill
who.
out a bracket,
Yeah.
have it up there at the end of the season, see who's right,
See who's right.
and then whoever's right gets free brothers.
Pause.
All right.
I mean, you can't really. It's not like March Madness. You can really predict the bracket. But I was talking more about who's making it out of the groups.
At the group stage for now, and then we can
Mm.
revisit it once the knockout stages begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Bayern and God willing United getting out of Group A.
They should. I mean,
Is that what everybody else has?
Galatasaray
We should
looks
have
like a
done a
pretty-
lot of things.
Let's
Galatasaray
pull
looks
up
pretty
the
good.
group tables and let's see. We'll start from Group A.
I
Yeah.
got it right here in
So
front
the
of me.
first group is Bayern, Copenhagen, Galatasaray, and United. Does everybody have Bayern and United getting out of that group?
That's my hope.
But who
I
finishes
actually have
first?
Galatasaray
Bayern.
and Bayern.
You a hater.
You have Galatasaray and Bayern.
You a hater.
Nah, Mauro Icardi.
You're a
I believe in
hater.
him.
You're a hater.
And Zaha.
Bro, he used to be down. Like
Are you serious?
that's a
You
problem.
actually have Galatasaray and Bayern.
Yeah, I'm
You see how crazy that take was? He said, "Are you serious?"
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take, but hey, if it turns out to be
You're betting against United though, so is it really that hot of a take?
All right,
Yeah.
Scouser. Group B.
Group B is Arsenal, Lens, Sevilla, and PSV.
I got Arsenal and Sevilla.
Those are my picks as
Sevilla
well.
need to finish third so they can get in Europa League. That's a tough one. Okay, Arsenal should finish at top first, and then Lens aren't so bad, so you might watch out for Lens there, but don't sleep on Sevilla. So okay, we'll go Arsenal, Sevilla, Lens, PSV.
What about you, Nick?
Arsenal and Lens.
All right.
Okay.
Long.
Diversity on the pod.
As it's
Long.
long.
Long. Oh, I like that. Okay. Group C.
Group C.
Napoli.
Real Madrid, Braga, Union Berlin.
Union Berlin. Shout out to Fast and Furious. He was the villain when the movies
Braga,
were still
right?
good.
Definitely Braga.
That's like one of the last
That's
good
number 5,
movies.
right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I seen that one.
That was fire. I got Madrid
I mean,
finished
everyone
first.
has Madrid
and
going
Napoli.
through.
But realistically, I think Napoli's gonna finish first.
Hey,
Madrid
through is
second.
through.
I don't think that's that crazy.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm not mad
That's
at that.
something crazy to say.
I mean,
I put
yeah,
those two
we'll-
going
they
through.
won the league last year, so
The squad's not the same. The
Napoli
coach is
been
different
balling.
too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I got Madrid, Napoli. Does everybody else have that?
Yeah.
Indeed.
yeah,
Okay.
Group D,
Port.
Red Bull, Salzburg, Inter Milan, Real Sociedad, and Benfica.
Oh, that's a tough. Group.
That's a tough group too.
This is
Especially
like a
Salzburg started
mid-level
off with
group
a
of death,
win.
kind of.
Inter going through. I'm gonna start with Inter going through.
I got Inter and Sociedad.
Sociedad.
Yeah, I got that too.
I'm tired.
Nick, I
Or we
mean,
could give him.
I'm gonna go Inter and Salzburg.
Inter and Salzburg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
I'm not mad at that.
Group E, Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and
Ooh,
Celtic.
this is an interesting one too. Man, Group D and E are good. I like these. These are
This is
I want it to be Atletico and
I know,
Celtic,
Feyenoord are good. They
but it
actually-
very well may be
So,
Feyenoord and Atletico
Sidebar:
Madrid.
today, Feyenoord played Ajax, and Feyenoord were beating. And there's like a local derby. They're heated rivals, and Feyenoord were beating them 3-0 by halftime. So the Ajax fans threw flares on the field, and the game got suspended.
Oh,
Yeah, I got
I
this
literally got like a Sports Center
Crazy.
update driving up here. How about that?
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
crazy, wild times at the Johan Cruyff Arena.
Best fans in the world, bro. Europe.
They're in like 13th place, right?
Yeah, 13th out of 18. And
Look at that 13th place passion.
Anytime that they don't win the league is a
Disappointment,
crisis.
yeah.
So the fact that they're in 13th, the fans are literally like
Burn it all
rioting.
down.
It's crazy. Crazy scenes in Amsterdam.
Movie.
Who do you guys got for Group E?
I'm going Lazio and Atletico Madrid.
I'm going to stick with Feyenoord and Atletico. I think those two teams.
I'm gonna say Atletico and Celtic, but it's probably not gonna be Celtic.
Celtic. Ooh.
I got Lazio and Atletico Madrid.
Okay.
Group F of death.
Everybody's going with the favorites.
PSG, Newcastle, AC Milan, Dortmund. What are your picks?
PSG,
And
AC Milan.
really, ooh,
That's fair.
Juan,
Same.
Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing, but I think Newcastle finished third. So
I'll go
Newcastle will play Europa
PSG,
League.
Newcastle, just to not pick,
just
just
to
not
not-
have a clean
okay.
sweep. And honestly, I would have picked Newcastle. They would with 8 different goal scorers today.
It was against Sheffield.
Hey, you can
I
only
get the excitement.
you can only beat who's in front of you.
Group G, Red Bull, Leipzig, Manchester City.
Yeah, get that off.
Young boys.
And Crvena Zvezda. Zvezda. Crvena Zvezda.
That sounds like a beer.
Let me get Crvena Vets.
All right, this one's pretty straightforward. City Red Bull.
City Young Boys.
I got this. I got the same too as well.
No, yeah, City Leipzig. That's not crazy. And H.
Nick, you got the same.
Yeah.
Last but not least.
Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk,
Yeah.
and
I'm
Antwerp.
going Barca Porto.
Barca Porto too.
Barca Porto.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
I feel like Porto always makes like a sneaky run in the Champions League.
Yeah, they're always in there. You know what I'm saying? It's not one and done for them,
They're
really.
always the dark horse. Hopefully they could push it a little further this year.
it is cool to see different teams playing in the Champions League now, where it's not just the same. You got your same top dogs, but for like the other guys to get some burn is pretty nice to see.
Yeah, you were happy to see young boys.
All right,
Young Boys has been in the Young Boys has been in the Champions League for a while, and it's fun fact their field is turf too, which is pretty cool about it.
Cool.
Huh?
Cool.
Trying to tear an ACL, baby.
I mean, like, how they allow that is my question.
They're in Switzerland, right?
The capital.
I believe it's like
That's
big
like that
cold
college
there,
team.
Burn.
The field would just. I mean, isn't it cold in Russia
in
too?
a lot of places. I know it's cheaper to maintain the turf, of course. So I guess
It's a big club and it's in Switzerland. I'm sure they'll be okay.
Yeah, they got Swiss banks. They got money.
Money's tight lately.
And Swiss banks.
All the different weather patterns in Switzerland probably has something to do with it also.
Yeah.
Easier to maintain.
Someone gets injured, do they have to change it, you think? Like another opposing team comes there for Champions League and gets injured?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it hasn't happened yet. Knock on wood.
All right, before we close this section,
The last team talking about is just seeing Lens Long from France in the Champions League is really cool.
Right, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
They had a
It's
good
like,
season last year in the French league, so
even for a club the size of Arsenal to be back in it, it's different. They haven't been there since that thrashing against Bayern. So hopefully,
Thrashing is crazy. That was uncalled for.
I mean, it's what it was.
they were thrashed.
The Harlem Thrasher.
No, but yeah, it's gonna be an exciting.
Damn,
Champions
shout out
League
to the
season.
JVP.
Yeah,
good.
definitely. Big year coming up.
So yeah, stay tuned for
wait,
updates.
before we close this segment out, let's choose Champions League winners
United. Manchester.
right now.
I mean, yeah, as of right now,
Manchester United.
I'll go City with the repeat, but
City.
PSG. I go PSG.
Once we see who,
Brandon, you're going
we'll-
PSG?
I'll do PSG for now.
Wow. PSG. I think that's just as wild as United winning it.
Val?
I'm gonna
No
go with,
way.
I'm gonna go with Bayern.
That's crazy.
Bayern.
That's a compliment to United and disrespectful to PSG.
yeah, I mean Bayern's a great choice as well.
I'm going Madrid if Vinicius is healthy.
Shocking. That I'm taken aback, honestly.
I mean, I want to see Madrid when Vinicius is healthy, but as of now, I just don't trust they have enough goals in their team. That's like my only concern.
You don't think Drew got it in him?
You know
To
what?
carry him to a Champions League.
I've seen Jude do no wrong so far, so let's see.
Yeah, they're definitely.
Nah,
missing
Jude is
that
your best
center
signing in like the
forward.
last decade.
If Benzema was still there,
Whoa, the last decade?
Mark
You
my
can't say
words.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Was 09.
That was a 9.
09.
I know what I said. Mark my words.
No way. I could.
Mark my words. He's gonna be the best signing in a decade.
The last decade. When did Luka Modric sign?
No,
All right, you talking
probably
about super influential people. Right?
he's been there for a while, so
Might have been like
I think he
the,
came like the year
2010, 2011.
the last decade is 2013.
they won their first Champions League in a minute in like 2013, 2014, and I
Damn.
think he came that season.
Post. Damn.
Yo, stop.
So maybe all right. Not yet. Then soon come.
No, I want to say it was like 2012 he left Tottenham.
We have all the technology in the world in front of us, and we're not looking at it.
2012.
2012.
Yeah, okay.
Best in a decade, baby.
Nah, I mean,
we'll see. We'll see. What he has.
see.
I mean,
Still
he has
so
he started the season off really well. So I mean, we'll see if he continues this off of 6 or 7 games
Who
that he's
can?
played so far.
No.
I just want you to know Tony Cruz came to Real Madrid in 2014. I just want to bring that up.
And what what a signing he's been.
I thought it'd be a good time to mention that to Brandon.
He has a little bit more Champions Leagues than Jude.
A couple
For now.
for now.
Until Jude wins 5 more. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, Casemiro was signed in 2013.
Yeah, so
Didn't know that.
a lot of good business over in Madrid. We know that.
Ooh, a lot of names that we don't care about anymore. Ieramendi.
I mean, I would consider, like, if you're talking about like value for dollars, Lucas Vázquez might be like one of the best signings.
Was he a signing or not an academy product?
I believe he was signed. I believe.
Does Ancelotti count as a signing? They have him on this list.
They had to sign him back.
Isco was signed that year. Morata was signed that year. Nacho was signed that year. Gareth Bale was signed that year.
Bale, I don't
Gareth
know.
Bale was signed that year. Yo, he is criminally underrated. I never thought I'd say those words out of my mouth.
Gareth Bale?
Yeah.
No, I agree.
No, he's not underrated.
Criminally.
Everyone knows what he does.
Bro, they just added him to PGA, like the video game. He's out here.
I think it's just like with like the potential he had. Everyone, even though he still did well for himself, everyone knows what I guess could have been.
Bro, he's a legend in 2 games.
Well, that's kind of Messi and Ronaldo's fault for heightening up those
For being
expectations
too
for
good?
everybody else. You know, like Gareth Bale was out of this world, but he was constantly being compared to.
I'll be
Messi and
honest. In
Ronaldo.
hindsight, I was like, this guy's whack. Not whack. I was just like, nobody cares about Gareth Bale. Like, he's just on the team.
I don't know, man.
I didn't really care about him.
He was
That's
carrying
hated.
Spurs for a while.
I didn't really care about. No, I'm talking about when he was at Madrid. I didn't really care about him. He was just like an addition.
I mean,
to
I
like,
feel like at a point, Gareth Bale was like bigger than Benzema. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
definitely.
Oh, definitely. But I was biased. Like I didn't.
I mean,
really
Benzema really didn't
rock
pop
with him
off
in
until
England.
Ronaldo
just him.
like
Until he
left,
yeah, that's
you know?
true. Him with the cast is like that's gang. Like that's him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like Ronaldo and Benzema's team. I mean, not Ronaldo and Bale's team for a little while.
How
you
many
know,
appearances
with
did
all those
Bale
Champions
have
Leagues?
for Madrid?
Oof.
Because he was there for a long time.
200,
I think,
300
8,
at
9
least?
years. 200 appearances, you think? Okay.
200 or 300, 4
I'd say
champions.
176,
Yeah, because he had a lot of injuries.
81 goals and 176
Are
appearances.
you sure that's
All comps.
yeah, that's probably just like league.
But that's still probably
for
more than a
La
lot of
Liga
like.
club. Oh,
That's probably
no.
more than Brazilian Ronaldo.
Never mind.
More than Zidane. So I think he is underrated as far as his time at Madrid.
Oh no, 258 appearances,
Yeah,
and that's per the Real Madrid website. 106 goals.
And a big part of like
Oh
when you
wait,
bring
they
up the Zidans and things of that nature.
Different type of style, different
and it's
position,
like what
you know,
they did in their
yeah.
time period. Obviously, he obviously still accomplished a lot in his time period, but I think most Madrid fans would say that they were based on his talent level, they probably expected a little more from him.
From Bale.
Yeah.
I said he doesn't get his love, but the Real Madrid website absolutely gives him his flowers.
I mean, if you read his accomplishments on paper,
No,
it looks great,
But what they write, like Gareth Bale has been a central figure in one of our club's most successful eras, winning 5 European Cups, 3 of them consecutively between 2014 and 2022. The Welshman arrived at Real Madrid at 24 years of age, was unveiled on the 2nd of September 2013 before making his debut. He also marked his first Madridista appearance with a goal. And his impressive spell in our colors,
Yeah,
like all the verbiage sounds like
that's
we're
not that much love.
proud
They're
of our
just
guy.
stating facts.
nah.
That's what I'm saying. On paper, it's like no one could dispute his resume or whatever, but I've definitely seen a lot of fan backlash towards him over the years. So
I don't know. I feel
Just
like
because he's an outsider.
I like this little blurb though, like just to
but I
give
do
him his
think when
flowers.
he like ends up going back to the stadium and things like that, time has passed, he will be greeted with more love from the fans than anything else.
He's also created some iconic memories and goals for you for
that
Madrid.
bike.
So
Against
bike
Liverpool?
The
that
running
goal
out of
against
bounds.
Barca,
Yeah.
I love that one.
Clasico. Those are like iconic goals, man. So yeah, he was. He
I'm
really
pretty
was
sure he
some
had a
player.
very important one against Atletico Madrid in one of the Champions League finals as well,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, definitely a header, I believe, right?
If I can recall correctly, I
know
think
Ramos
so.
had-
Didn't Sergio Ramos have a
Yeah.
rocket
Yeah.
goal
Ramos
that
to win
game
it
too?
in OT or
Yeah, I remember that. I drove to my friend's house after the 90th minute to watch the rest of the game.
I was so sick. I was so upset.
That was crazy.
You wanted Atletico to win it.
I mean, losing 2 finals to Madrid in the span of
lets you know your place.
5 years. That was really
lets you know your place.
The fact that Atletico Madrid was able to make it to those finals is pretty impressive, to be honest.
They had their moment.
Definitely, that was a big. I mean,
that's when Barca, Madrid, and Atletico were
actually competitive.
The big
Spanish dominance in that Champions League, and then
the league was.
And
up
Sevilla was winning Europa. That's like.
I think we did touch on that before too, like that Spanish dominance for a couple years.
We definitely have. You know, Juan always finds a way to bring that up.
Yeah, we'll see how if that continues,
Like
or maybe it'll chance it over to Saudi. You know
Hey, but let's put a button on this Champions League segment here. We have all our picks. PSG.
The picks are in. Put your money down now.
PSG, Madrid,
City,
and
Bayern.
Bayern.
City boys.
All right. Those are the picks.
We'll revisit this. All right, so changing topics over here. I know most of you guys saw the highly anticipated derby match today between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal. Just curious to get your guys' feedback on that. It was a 2-2 draw. How do we think the game went?
I think Tottenham Hotspur was a little shaky in the beginning with the new manager coming in, the whole Ange Ball thing, playing out of the back. They honestly could have let up a goal or two the way they were playing. At one point, the right back, Udogie, literally passed it to
nobody.
Nketiah and played him in. And Arsenal didn't score off it, but it was a good result. And then still undefeated on the Tottenham side, so it's a good game.
Have Arsenal lost the game yet this year? Or? No, I think Arsenal are still undefeated too.
Yep.
So
thoughts, Juan?
I thought it was a good result for Tottenham. The 2-2 draw was a good result. I thought Arsenal should have pulled away with all the points if Jorginho didn't actually. I don't know what he was thinking there, to be honest. A minute and a half after your team just scores, you're just sticking around the back and why don't you just pass it back to the goalie if you have no option? You know what I'm saying? He wasn't that under pressure. He tried literally dribbling between two players. You know what I'm saying? Just pass the ball back. You know what I'm saying? You're the last man.
he also wasn't on the field very long.
Right, but
yeah, he came on in the 46th minute and the 52nd. He gives up the goal, and now they're tied. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
That being said, Jorginho is a very experienced player. That's kind of why Arsenal brought him in, so to speak. So for him to see for him to make such a inexperienced type mistake was interesting to see, but
yeah. So
there's still much to do from there. And
so a point earned for Spurs, 2 points dropped for Arsenal. Is that how we're feeling about it?
I'd say so. And just even Spurs in general this entire year, I think with Harry Kane leaving, a lot of people would probably think that they would drop off a bit. So to see them being so successful in the early season without him is.
They still got Son though.
Well, it's giving Son the spotlight now, so he could really get a chance to show his quality. Because he's always been quality, but he's always been the Robin to
It seems kind of like that, Ronaldo Benzema situation where it's two players, both of high quality, but one is kind of overshadowing the other based on the team system. So, Son has really stepped up, and James Maddison.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think we got to
being added to the team
that should be in conversation for signing of the season because of how cheap he was. And for the value that Tottenham were able to get at him in the early stages, it's exciting to see. Tottenham are evolving. It's not because they're so reliant on Harry Kane. Previous seasons, you would just assume, all right, Harry Kane will get a goal. Tottenham will be lucky to win, but they'll only win if Kane scores. It doesn't seem like it's that same vibe now with this new Tottenham team. So,
and I really like Kulusevski, a player that's been there on loan until he was finally bought there this summer. He's smooth. He's slick. I think he's a good player.
Yeah. Song at the center forward position as well. What did you guys think of his performance at the center forward position? Because, I haven't really seen him play too much. I feel like he mostly played on the left wing. Because, Harry was there before, and then Richarlison was starting most of the games at center forward. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, do you like Song at the center forward position? Do you think he's better on the left? Like,
I like him on the wing. I can't lie. I do like the freedom he has on the wing.
I did like him on the wing, but he's not like the prototypical winger where he was never like going past players. He was more of like an inside forward that was playing on the wing. So seeing him come through the center kind of makes a lot of sense now. He scored 5 goals from that position in his last 2 games. So, I mean, I think he'll do well there. I kind of like the idea of Son, Kulusevski, and Richarlison all playing at the same time, but the team has been successful with Richarlison dropped. I know they came out recently and said that Richarlison's been through like a lot with his mental health.
mm-hmm.
I think they were saying kind of like his team that kind of handles his career and his management system was kind of like mishandling it for a while, and that's been tough on him. But I hope to see him back in the team soon, and I still think that front line can work with those 3.
So you don't think they need to add any more depth to that side? So not necessarily replacing Harry Kane, but using those funds to build up that core that they currently have? Or because it still feels like they may just be lacking in the goal threat, being a little too reliant on those 3 players, especially when you're not getting the production you expect out of Richarlison. So it's
I mean, it's a long season. I still expect Richarlison to come good. You're getting a lot out of James Maddison. And you have players like Brian Hill, who I still believe in, even though he hasn't really had a good start to his life at Spurs, that I think once he becomes healthy, fully fit again, he'll come into the team and add a lot.
But that was a Antonio Conte signing too. So, is he even in the manager's plans? That's what's interesting when you have a whole new turnaround in a club. Does the manager get a chance to bring in the players that he wants to bring in, or does he have to have a little bit of both, developing the players that are currently there while working with whatever budget the owners are going to give them? They did sign the kid from Nottingham Forest too, though. So
Brennan Johnson.
Yeah,
he got the start today. What do you guys think of his performance today?
I've never been the biggest fan of his.
It's a tough game to judge him though. Off of that,
definitely, and he's a young kid, so we'll see how he improves. It seems like Ange has like a distinct style, and it seemed like it was kind of an Ange signing bringing him in. So I'm sure he sees him fitting his system well. So we'll see how that progresses.
Yeah.
Brought in some reinforcements in the back line as well. A new left back and the Italian kid.
Destiny Udogie.
Yes.
He was actually bought last year and
was
on
he?
loan
Okay.
in Italy for last year at Udinese, I believe.
And the Dutch center back as well from Wolfsburg. He looks to be a
Van de Ven.
Yeah. He looked like he could be a good fit.
And even Solomon on the wings, who was playing at Fulham last year, and before that over at Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine, I think is a good player. He'll chip in with a few goals.
And they're all young too. They're all like mid to young 20s. But that just goes to show you that these clubs move on. Like you would think that Harry Kane would be such a tough thing to overcome, but they're doing well for what's been happening so far.
For Spurs, I could say they've had a lot of big players in the past, and they've lost a lot of them. So they're used to like bouncing back. But I can say that this seems like the quickest bounce back after losing a big player.
Yeah, very questionable decision also by Arteta today, playing 2 center forwards at the same time and one of them on the wing. What would you guys like opinion on that? I think Trossard, was he hurt?
Trossard was not available today.
Not available?
I think that's what led into it, and just Jesus, when he was at City, he played a lot of games on the wing under Pep. Pep never really saw him as a true center forward. So,
but at the same time, part of why he moved to Arsenal though, because he wanted to play down the center,
and he's still coming back to full fitness after a knee injury in the summer. But I still think that Reece Nelson should be given some minutes because I think he's a true out and out winger that would give a lot to the team. And
so
I'll be honest, I'm not big on Edward. I wouldn't have him on my fantasy team or things like that.
All right.
So do you think Gabriel Jesus is this guy, the center forward? Does Arsenal need to get somebody that can't currently play right now? He used to play on Brentford.
Yeah.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah. Okay.
Do they need to go?
That would be a sign.
And the winter transfer window, do they need to go for Ivan Toney?
Yeah.
That would be a
I think
good
60
sign.
mil for him would be cool. That'd be a good deal.
That would not be a
That's a
bad
deal
sign.
for all
at
parties.
Do you think he's a good fit for Arsenal, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd do well. He's like good at hold up play.
He's a goal scorer.
He connect play well enough, and like Val said, he's definitely he's got that clinical side to him, and that's what Arsenal need. I don't think they need like a link up Firmino, Gabriel Jesus type center forward. They need goals. They need goals in the bigger games, like the decisive games that are going to win you the title. And if they don't do that, I see them falling short the same way they did last year. And at the rate they're going, I think they're going to fall a little bit shorter than they did last year.
So you don't think this was the best Arsenal side available today?
Not even close, no. Especially with Trossard and Martinelli hurt.
Martinelli was out. That was a big one. That was a big miss.
Yeah, so I know we've spoken before about Kai Havertz at Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal needed to spend 60 or what was it, 60 or 70 million?
60 mil. That was ridiculous.
On Kai Havertz, because
that was ridiculous.
So it seems like the trend was the first Arteta gave, I think, Kai Havertz 4 or 5 starts at the beginning of the season. I guess kind of to try to prove himself because he wasn't performing very at a high level. But it's hard for you to like get a good judgment, I guess, off a player for just giving him 2 games, you know.
No, for sure.
And then Vieira would come on as a sub and kill it, you know. But I've been finding it interesting that now that Vieira's been starting, he doesn't play as well.
Yeah, he hasn't.
So is there some players that are just designated like players to like just come off the bench, you think? You know, that just like, all right, this is...
Yeah, we've seen that with those impact type players over the years. I think there's a player in there for Vieira. I would like to see him given the same grace that Havertz was given a couple of games. And he's still like a very young player who was coming off the Portuguese league. This is his second year.
Could also just be
Arsenal,
like a fitness thing, you know, where he's not used to playing. Like a 90 minutes in a Premier League match could be very demanding on a player that may not be suitable for that style of play. So maybe they can get the most uses out of them in bursts in like 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Vieira doesn't have like the strength and the speed that Kai Havertz has, but he does have the technical ability and creativity, which Kai Havertz completely lacks. And Vieira's services into the box are a good threat.
I just mentioned, and not having like a real center forward or like aerial threat, that takes away from Vieira, where someone like an Ivan Toney, I could see him getting on a lot of those crosses that he plays in. Another
question I guys have for you is that Ramsdale, after doing an excellent job, basically just gets benched by Arteta for David Raya, which I think was kind of coming, but I feel like I would have expected for Arteta to kind of like wait for a moment where the team wasn't doing as well to make that change. But I guess Arteta thinks that now is the time, and there's no time to wait. We're trying to compete for the league this year, time is always now.
Yeah.
I think that was pretty obvious when they brought the keeper in. It's not even like Ramsdale was performing poorly. It's just they think that Raya is the better option, and that's what they're going to go with.
And it was kind of tough if you watch Arsenal over the last 5 years, because Bernd Leno, who actually was the keeper before Aaron Ramsdale, was doing a great job. And it was the same way. It was like just a couple of games in, put in Ramsdale, never looked back. And I will say, seeing Raya today, I haven't seen too much of him at Brentford before. He definitely came up with some big saves. I know he's like known for being good with his feet or whatever, but
his ball distribution is really good as well.
Yeah, but the saves he had today was definitely some good ones.
So who do we think is going to end up finishing higher this season, Spurs or Arsenal?
I got Arsenal.
I think if Arsenal do not sign a center forward during the winter, it will be Spurs for sure.
I got Arsenal, of course. I mean, come on.
No subjective views in that one. No, I'm going with Tottenham. I think the way that Tottenham were able to get a result in a game they really shouldn't have shows that they know what it takes to accumulate the points. Let's see if Arsenal could do it, because it was 2 points dropped for Arsenal today. So I like what I'm seeing from Spurs, and I believe in Ange Postecoglou. So let's let's keep an eye on that one for sure.
So every season we find ourselves kind of picking who are our favorites to win the league, especially when it comes to the Premier League. And based on the way things have been going recently, for me this year, it's not even a question. I know Val has definitely talked to me a bunch of times about how Manchester City's dominance in the Premier League is comparable to other leagues when other leagues get kind of laughed at for being farmers' leagues. He's like, well, is the Premier League that far off it? And for me, the closer I look at Manchester City, the more I say, no, the Premier League's not very far off it. I could see this dominance continuing for a very long time.
Poppycock.
So even post-Pep, do you think the City dominance is going to
Well,
continue?
maybe not post-Pep, but I don't see Pep going anywhere for a while, and I just wanted to give him his flowers today.
Yeah, man. Is it what really is there to say? He's clearly the best team, and it's not even just like something that happened overnight. This has been like a work in progress for like 15 plus years. So now we're really watching City in real time turn into a legacy club, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's I mean, they really have it all. They have the best manager, they have the best players, and they have an unlimited budget. So I don't know what could really stop them. Like Val was saying, the only thing I see is Pep leaving and not choosing the right successor. We've seen with a lot of big clubs in the Premier League, having a legacy manager and not choosing the right successor, and how much that could set a club back, even after like a long reign of success. So at this point, that's really all I see. I was just going over how the change that Pep has seen in those couple of years, where we look at even like a Liverpool who had some really high highs in the last 5 years, them retooling their team has been like kind of like an all-out process, where I've seen them try to replace an entire aging midfield in one summer, and like certain big pieces of their teams where Pep has like seamlessly added and subtracted from his teams.
I think what he does well is he gets them out of there before he has to.
Yeah, and He does well. He kind of reminds me of Ferguson with his ruthlessness, where I've seen Ferguson get rid of David Beckham, Ruud van Nistelrooy. These are like some of his best players.
Young Chrissy V.
Ronaldo, I mean, that one wasn't really he wanted in the league, but he was still able to win multiple titles, get back to Champions League finals without him. So like Pep has the same ruthlessness, where I've seen him get rid of João Cancelo, who we see still having, still playing at an elite level, if not the best for a right back in the world right now, and him being like, you know what, you're not getting with my system, kick rocks, you could get out of here. I really don't care.
He did that with Joe Hart when that
was early, yeah.
He was kind of like the first person, because Joe Hart wasn't just a scrub. He was like their best keeper.
He was there before they were a team.
Best keeper.
Yeah.
So for Pep to come and be like, I don't like how you play, you don't fit my style.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just really adds to that ruthlessness. But that's really what it takes to be the top, especially if the player does not.
That's what fantasy is teaching me. You gotta be ruthless. I gotta let Leon Bailey go.
It's like, you gotta get Lee.
Yeah, I know.
But even something like you let some of the older players go. I've seen Pep let like your Ferran Torres, Leroy Sané's, Jadon Sancho, who was an academy
Zinchenko
kid on the way up, Zinchenko, Gabriel Jesus. So seeing him like able to let those players go and it not bite him has like been pretty.
Well, the thing is, he always had a replacement for them.
Yeah,
it's either he had somebody that was on the bench that he was like, all right, I'd rather play them than him, or they were buying somebody. It's not like they just let him go and there's no replacement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was good about.
Or we're gonna let an academy kid take his spot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what they're doing now. Yeah. You're seeing City have a lot more.
I mean, they sold Palmer to Chelsea, and what happened to that kid that was playing right back over
Rico Lewis? Did he get loaned out?
He doesn't get as much playing time as he was getting last year. Kyle Walker.
I mean, that's the incredible thing with Pep. I think like 2 years ago, I would have said Phil Foden is out of here. He's probably going to be like one of the best players of this next generation, which I still believe, but he really like scaled him back for 2 years.
Phil Foden.
Like now we're gonna see that next level of Phil Foden coming through.
And we're also seeing Jack Grealish really shine under Pep. You know, that first year coming off with that big price tag, you know, he was really...
But that's like a weird thing with Pep. I feel like whenever he buys a winger, like, they struggle.
Well, because they got to play... The winger has to play the way Pep wants them to play. So it's like, it takes a while for the winger to get used to that specific, very, like, structured way. Usually with wingers, you think they have the creativity in the final third, but it's like, no, Pep is like, I need you on the touchline on the final third.
Right.
So it's just a totally different way of playing. But
definitely remember Thierry Henry telling some stories about that.
Thierry.
Not listening to Pep and how that'll go for you.
It was the end of his time at Barca.
But the other cool thing about Pep is you see like certain managers like a Mourinho, or certain managers are like known for playing their style, and it's like we're sticking with this style and it's really not going to change. I need specific players for that style. But it's definitely been cool to see Pep kind of like reinvent soccer in 2008, coming through with Barcelona, and almost everyone kind of copying that 4-3-3 tiki-taka style. And then even to now, how he's like reinvented how the right back is playing and like really pushing them high into midfield. So it's like it's always changing. So it's almost like he doesn't like leave time for his teams to, I guess, get burnt out, or it's like a new idea is always coming in. It's something always like refreshing for that.
He adapts. You can't dominate for a long time if you don't adapt.
That's
you
the
can't
word where
present the same.
Like Laporte, a player that I know me and Juan definitely appreciated for a while. I feel like he got injured for 1 week and then like he just never came back into the team when he was playing at like
that's a good problem to have,
a world-class level.
Well, that's another. Not
there's
a lot of
competition.
Have that capability where they could have someone just seamlessly slide right into the starting 11 like City does.
Right.
Maybe Madrid.
Yeah,
but
and it seems like even Kevin De Bruyne is not a miss whatsoever.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Which is
weird.
So that was my next point of just how the difference between Chelsea and a City is where Chelsea, they can buy whoever they want, but they want to buy a finished product, where Pep is still someone who's developing all these players. Where you look at people like Akanji, I watched him at Dortmund. I didn't think he was anything special. I thought he was bang average at Dortmund. He's playing great for City. Even Grealish has like, who would you say?
Ake as well.
Yeah, Ake is another good one. I think
Sterling was a really good example as well.
Rodri, who I watched him at Atletico, I thought was a very good player. Now he's might be the best
in the world.
center defensive mids in the world.
I think he's the best in the world. But talking about like, so obviously Pep has made a lot of signings since he's been there, but like he hasn't missed on many. If I were to say, he's pretty like, I feel like even Madrid has missed with Hazard spending all that money, and maybe a couple other players like Jovic as well. But like, I don't really think Pep has had. I thought it was going to be Grealish for a little bit.
Nah, he's coming good now.
Because after that first year wasn't really that great. He had a rough start. But no, like I feel like there hasn't been a signing that he's made that's like really is missed. You know what I mean?
And mine would be Julian Alvarez. The difference between him last year and this year is incredible. Where he's filling in that De Bruyne role like seamlessly. He has a great relationship with Haaland now. I can see that continuing for a while. He's chipping with a bunch of goals and assists.
His confidence got to be through the roof. What a year.
He won Champions League, he won the World Cup, he won everything.
Copa Libertadores, whatever you call the Argentinian First League. The kid's got it all. So
proven winner.
And now
Gabriel Jesus would be considered a failed signing, or just didn't live up to the potential.
Almost 100 goals for Manchester City.
Does he? Okay.
If you ask me, I feel like Gabriel Jesus does more than his potential. Like I don't think he's.
I'm trying to think of who would be considered like a City.
But he does well for himself.
A City bust. I don't really think there are any.
There really hasn't. That come out.
Calvin Phillips, but who knows if Rodri got a red card this weekend? So if Calvin Phillips plays the next 3 games and he plays lights out, then I'll be like, oh well.
But Calvin Phillips was never signed to replace Rodri. Calvin Phillips was signed to be a backup, basically, to Rodri.
Yeah, to compete for the position.
Could compete for the position. Like it's not like they signed a world-class player for a tremendous amount of money, and they were like, all right, we expect this person to start and play every game.
They signed a young Englishman. They probably also needed to fill like the requirements to have
a certain amount of English
players on their squad. So that could also be why Cole Palmer just went to Chelsea. You know.
What do you guys think about my guy Jeremy Doku?
I'm excited. He's very flary, and you don't really see that too often these days in the wingers. Very select wingers have that creativity, that pace, and
That's
that
a shame.
decisiveness. He's still so young too, so it's like you see his raw ability, but then you also see like, oh wow, this guy's actually a baller. So it's
when you bring up raw ability, it's I think he's definitely a little bit further past that.
Oh yeah,
like he's decisive with his like dribbling completion rate, the passes he's picking out. He's already scored one goal for City so far.
I think he got a pretty sick assist too.
Yeah, that's it's just like the rich getting richer. You know, one of those signings.
Not fair.
And I can see it difficult for Grealish to like reclaim that spot. I mean, they're both very different profiles of players, but Doku's sharp, man.
So you don't see Doku as like a Riyad Mahrez replacement, or do you think that's exactly why he was brought in?
Yeah, definitely a Mahrez replacement, but yeah, definitely more in the mold of Mahrez. But he's faster than that. He's more in the mold of a Salah type player.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's another great signing by
He's
City.
young though. How old is he? He's got to be like 21.
He's like 21, 22.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's 21.
Belgian international. I'm sure Kevin De Bruyne was like, yo, you got to sign this kid. You have Thierry Henry, assistant coach to Belgium, already singing his praises. It's like,
what more could you ask for at that stage? Oh yeah, and then you just, like you were saying earlier, Pep knows how to really get the best out of his players, even if it might not be instant gratification as far as the rewards.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'll be honest. I thought John Stones was like a bad player for like 3 years. He literally did not play like his first 4 years at City, and now he's
playing as a sweeper role.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, the thing is, they have like such a crazy rotation. Even the back line, like I've never even like usually a team their manager sticks to like a certain back line. Like maybe a different right back will play, or a different center back once in a while if there's like any injuries or stuff. But like with City, it's like a different back line every game. Like the amount of rest that these guys get, like how could they not be performing? They're already the top players, obviously, and how could they not be performing at a top level with the amount of rest that they get? You know, they play. Pep knows it's a long season. They're competing for every trophy.
Yeah.
Literally every single one, and like it's basically a failed season if City doesn't win every trophy. You know what I mean? Like with the amount of talent they have, the amount of replacements that they have for every position, and with having Erling Haaland and continuing to score at basically the same rate that he scored last year, I wouldn't even be surprised if he breaks his own record, to be honest. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think it makes them harder to plan for too. Because like, if I want to exploit a weakness that we've seemed to find in film, and those three players aren't playing today, you know what I mean? Like, it makes them a little more dynamic than the average team too.
And my thing, like going into the season with City as well, was like you're used to seeing a team have a drop off year, right? Where like players start to age out, things of that nature. We saw Gundogan leave, who was their captain, had an incredible season last year. Mahrez going to Saudi Arabia, and De Bruyne getting injured like the first game of the season. So I'm like, oh, okay, City's weakened. Now's the time that all
somebody
the
else
teams
to
pounce.
on them. Yeah.
And like this is where City starts to go downhill, has a couple of lull in their form, and like dare I say they look better than last year. So
it's to Pep's credit that we were just saying, like he doesn't ever let anyone overstay their welcome, really.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten everything I think I could get out of you. So maybe from here you can only not disappoint me, but you maybe only be able to. You're probably never. Maybe I think you hit your peak for me, so I'm gonna just get you out of here now.
Yeah, and you seem
and it's worked. Yeah,
well after leaving City too. So
so it's like maybe like that's the thing. Like it's not like a steep drop off, but I don't want to renew you and get to the steep drop off that I see coming in 4 years. So I'll get you out now.
That's what he did with Sterling.
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking about. Honestly,
with that one. But they also
Chelsea's also trash.
You know, you totally forget about that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I haven't seen Kovacic play City yet.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player.
Kovacic, I've seen him play a couple times. But is he hurt as well? Kovacic and Grealish, because they weren't in the.
Maybe he's missing a little.
I think they both might like have like a little
knock.
Yeah.
But another player he signed was the player from Wolves, Mateus Nunes.
Nunez.
And like watching him play for City, he already looks like he's
A perfect ideal player for Pep.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a top 20 player in no time. You know what I mean?
So do you think Pep is handpicking these players, or do you think City's scouting department is like, hey Pep, here's a list of all the players that we think would fit?
I would think there's a scouting department. I don't think Pep like sits on his laptop all night watching like games from around the world. They probably send him like, oh, this seems like a player that would. Yeah, I wonder how that works.
I was curious the dynamic behind
If
that.
I had to guess, this is the style I'm looking to play.
Mm-hmm.
This is the exact description of the type of player I need. This is the money we have. Go.
But I get the final say.
Find first team quality. Yeah. Give me maybe 5 options, and then let me pick from
cool
there.
Today, we're like, obviously, you could record in HD and everything. I'm sure it must have been interesting in like the 90s. Like,
watching grainy VCR footage,
scouts and like really believe their eye, and the coaches would probably have to get out to some games if possible.
I mean, you heard about that guy that was like, "Yo, I'm like, whose cousin?
I'm George
Way's cousin," and got like pretty far. I think 20 minutes into a Premier League game, till they were like, "Yo, he might not like really be." Yeah. I think they're like, yo,
Graham Souness. Like,
is it like a bad game, or like is he like, is this bullshit?
It's funny because the players on the team, because first he came with a training, right? Mm-hmm. And then the players thought it was a joke. The players thought that guy wanted to like train with the team.
Oh no, not a competition.
Like, no, this guy's not at this level. But the coach was like, no, this is George Way's cousin. Relax, everyone. Like he can play. Just wait till Sunday.
Yeah.
It's got to be in like the 90s.
Start him, take him right back out.
That's amazing, yo.
He plays 2 minutes. Like they didn't see in the training ground that like he wasn't a good player. Like, come on.
If I was him, though, the way I would have played it, they just threw him
into a Premier League game without like him training or doing like a 8-a-side or 7-a-side in training. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but don't you see a lot of players like they'll get signed on like a Wednesday, they'll do one training, and then the weekend they get like a couple minutes for the debuts.
Yeah, players that have a reputation. Not
his cousin had
any
a reputation.
random person.
That's it.
His alleged cousin had a reputation.
You're George Way's cousin. I probably.
But the way you play it, bro, you go to training and then you just do like the lazy star training.
Who's his agent? His agent needs a raise.
I'm not gonna
the
try.
The fact that he finessed that.
His own agent. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was him on the phone.
Oh, he
pretending that he was.
So he really finessed.
Yo, original scammer.
We can go viral if we do that, bro. Think about it. Brandon on the Premier League soccer.
Yo, we should try that for
Brandon
United.
Play for Luton Town.
Nah, Brandon's he couldn't take all that losing. He couldn't take all that losing.
Listen, if I'm Luton Town, I'm just happy to be there. They have no business being.
You know, I think that's I feel like the whole wonder of oh my god, I'm a professional soccer player would wear off real quick. Like if we're losing.
Until those
you should be happy to be here thing would wear off mad fast if we're losing.
About Luton Town being a pro
that a lot of people care. I'm sure a lot of people.
No, I'm talking about me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, me, but I don't like to lose. It bothers me, and then it makes my skin itch if you're okay with losing.
Oh man.
They're like, it's just a game. Like I'll slap you. What the
fuck? But, shout out Pep. He's doing big things over there, and. Yeah. As long as he's there,
do they lose a game this season?
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Does City pull off the invincible season? Hasn't been done since.
Hell no.
I don't think.
So do you think any team will do that again then?
Hell no. Well,
if there's one team that's doing it, dumb.
My first son turns 15 that year. Mark it.
But if there is any team to do it, it's got to be a Pep City team.
I'm telling you, bro, the 2035 Aston Villa team, different.
They're the only team that started 6-0. So that would be cool to see.
Ever in life?
I don't see
ever in the Prem?
No, I'm just talking about this current
team.
Oh,
yeah, they haven't lost the game yet.
I don't see anyone challenge this team. The best I think they'll come against is next year Liverpool challenging them.
Not even this year.
Next year,
Next year,
damn.
Liverpool challenge.
Their
They're
hardest
only 2
challenge
points
is
behind them this year.
365 days out.
That's awesome.
And knowing Pep, by the time he has 2 transfer windows, that threat is going to be way less potent than it is now.
No, I think Liverpool is really building something solid.
Unless he swoops in and takes 2 targets that they were looking at.
Even
That were like to
this
complete
team
the,
that
you know?
Liverpool are
Just
building,
buy
man.
Salah.
I think Klopp is just motivated to prove all.
Yo,
the
y'all need to
doubters.
sell Salah to Saudi, bro. They've been knocking. Like, stop hating.
Salah is way
Yeah.
too important for Liverpool right now.
Come on.
way
Yeah.
too.
Mo Bamba. Yo, Juan sent me this video today. I had me crying, bro.
Yeah, so funny.
But we're getting random. I think we should put a button on this segment. So, somebody else button it. I'm not big on giving City props.
City, we see you.
So we got the pleasure this past weekend to take the OTT pod members
On the road.
on a little field trip to a place that is very dear to my heart, Red Bull Arena. Been going there for quite some time now, but I got to share the experience with my friends here. So I'm just curious to think what you guys thought about the experience.
Well, I love that for a pod outing, we all come together. You know, it's 5 of us moving as one, so that's nice that everyone
One band, one sound.
shows face, and
Yeah,
we
one
can
band,
all
one
get
sound,
together
baby.
outside of the pod. It's not all business, but I have a lot of thoughts about going to a Red Bull game. We've talked about MLS on this podcast before, and I will say, as someone who considers himself as a Red Bull fan, seeing them in person was a little bit disappointing. I'm gonna come clean.
Oh, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at
Definitely
all.
not their best season so far.
I mean, they won 5-3 today, right?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I wish we could have seen 5 goals.
Well, first and foremost, they played Austin FC, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
talk to them about where Red Bulls are.
So
Oh,
in the-
yeah.
in
Give
the
some
table
context
right now.
because I didn't know nothing.
it's coming to the end of the season where teams are really starting to push for the playoffs, and the Red Bulls are historically a playoff team. So they're usually in it every year, but this is the first time in like 7 or 8 years where they're going to miss the playoffs. So every game is important. So, and Austin is in a similar position where they're fighting for their playoff table in the West. Red Bulls are in the Eastern Conference. So both teams were trying to play for something. It was definitely, there were moments, but the overall quality has been lacking all season for the Red Bulls. So there wasn't really anything on display. You know, they started off strong, but it just dies out quickly. And then, of course, the next game, they score 5 goals, and they haven't scored 5 goals in a game all season.
We might be
So
bad luck.
We just missed a good opportunity. To
How many
catch some
games have you
goals,
been
but
to, Chris? You might be bad luck.
That could be.
But me
I've
personally,
gone to the
though,
majority of them.
What'd you think?
I had a good ass time. Like, for several reasons. So, one, like, it's in Jersey. That's not crazy far. It took me like an hour 15, hour 20, almost an hour and a half to get there. Not dumb far, like, not too far to be like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Right.
2, I like the stadium. This is my second time being in the stadium, but it's a proper football stadium. So like no seat feels like a bad seat. You feel me? I really enjoyed that. It's like that is big for me.
That's got to
I
be
mean,
the
it's
best
Another
thing about it.
thing, I like the location of it. Like it's on its like own island. So like yeah, there was traffic, but like if you're in the traffic, you're just there for the game. Like it doesn't seem too congested, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then on a personal note, I have a friend that plays for the team. So like to see him like on the field for real and like his name like I'm like yo that's crazy like wow like that was hard. So that was like cool for me too. And then honestly, just like the fact that I be forgetting like MLS is a thing. Like you can just go see live soccer like in America on a Wednesday night. Y'all had a good time, bro.
A good price point as well.
Yeah, I had a good ass time. Like there was
Reasonably
like
so.
Yeah, definitely didn't have to break the bank for that.
yeah, there were flashes of like skill and stuff, and like obviously I didn't expect Champions League final level, but I had a good time. I enjoyed myself, and then it was like I think it was like Latin night, So you had the drum. Wait, are the drums normal? Like, is that like part of it, or like that was for that night?
They they did like a halftime show, and some of the music they were playing was specific.
No, I'm talking about during the game in that section behind the goal.
That section, they're always
okay. That's fine.
Like
so like just to get that experience in America, like on a Wednesday night, is fine. Like I would go back.
Yeah,
no
there's
question.
definitely a lot of passion in the States. That's why it's like it's cool to see the league develop. I just wish the team would just have a little more quality.
And I can see it too, like just from watching them. Like obviously this is one game, but I feel like if they had like 3 more solid pieces, like that's a good team right there.
That's the interesting part where it's like a New York team. You would think they'd be able to attract some level of stardom.
I think soccer different though.
Their team.
Like LA pulls. New York don't really pull like that.
But it's not like they haven't been able to do that in the past before. For like a player like Thierry Henry to come.
But how many years ago was that?
That was a while ago.
David Villa, Frank Lampard.
Pirlo.
To Red Bulls, really?
No, to New York City FC.
Okay,
it's still
that's
New
what
York.
I'm saying. I don't really rock with them because they're city affiliates. I can't lie, but nah, they are New York too. So I mean, they should have the same pulling power, right?
I think NYCFC kind of made it more difficult for Red Bulls pulling power because they're actually based
in New York,
in the city. Except they play in a baseball stadium. So come on,
yeah, that part.
Wait, but they're getting their own stadium, right? It's near.
Yeah, it's in Queens.
Except, do you know what the issue is?
Can I complain about that real quick?
So the owner of the Mets doesn't want to let that stadium be built because he
doesn't want to share the
parking.
It's literally across the street.
So because the Mets owner is not willing to allow them to use their parking lot for parking, there's a whole bunch of delays with City getting their stadium.
I have a whole nother complaint about this. So the part in Queens where they're demolishing to put this stadium is where you can get any muffler work done for the lowski. No. Like I'm not like there's known for that. Like if somebody's like, oh, like I got into an accident, I need a muffler. Like, oh, I want to chop my exhaust off and get a muffler delete. Where would you go? They all send you over there, bro. It's literally to the point where like it was like a dirt road and you drive down it and it feels like it's 1920. And then they blocked it off. It's all covered for the construction now. And they have like the dudes from each shop out on the corner. And like you'll drive. So like when I wanted to get my muffler deleted, I drove down and they saw like the type of car. So they're like, oh, he's probably a car guy. They're like, yo, what you need? Like, what you want? Like, probably what you want. I'm like, I need a muffler. He's like, yeah, my brother's shop right there. And then he hopped in my car and like we drove to the spot. And then they gave me the quote, $500. Crazy. And then I went to another one and they were like, bro, $80. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
So New York City FC shouldn't get a stadium. That's what we're getting at?
Not where it is. But to my point, what I was saying earlier, if I could have like a legitimate football stadium that close to me, I don't know if I could bring myself to be a season ticket holder for NYCFC, like but I would go to a lot of games.
Like I feel like that Red Bull Arena Stadium, man, it's got to be one of the best in the league, if not.
It's a nice stadium. I've only ever been there twice. That time we went and Jamaica Mexico Gold Cup final. Oh, it wasn't Gold Cup final. It was like a friendly or something. CONCACAF, because the Gold Cup final was in Philly. But Red Bulls, I saw them play for some reason there. Great stadium. There's no bad seats in there. Like there's literally none. If I got my glasses on, there's not a bad seat in the house.
Exactly. That's what's so cool about it.
I remember me and Nick sat basically all the way at the top for Argentina versus Jamaica, and like it's not like you can see every little thing, but you can still see the game. It's not like you're sitting at the top of MetLife on a third.
Let's say the shittiest seat in MSG and the shittiest seat in Red Bulls is very different experiences. You see what I'm saying? Like in that sense.
I mean, to go to the city to see that MSG, you might as well just save your money.
Yeah, they look like ants, bro. Like
you just there just to like clap when everybody else claps, you know?
FIFA. Well, no, you just go there to watch.
You're watching the screen, yeah.
I've definitely gone to a Knicks game and been
for that. I just watch TV at home, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, the experience is fun.
I just hope that they could fill the stadium. That's their biggest issue is they can't really fill the stadium to produce that same atmosphere.
Playing well. And winning,
signing top players as well. So it's a combination of things. I think but now that Messi's in the league, there's just so much heightened pressure for all the other teams to produce. So a market like New York, they're going to make some. Yeah, we talked about this last week. Yeah, I don't think Ronaldo's interested in coming.
But imagine he gets the same deal, but they're like, yo, 5% more than Messi. Pull up to the Red Bulls.
I would have loved to see Neymar in that MLS. I feel like he would have been.
Oh, that would have been like him at Santos. You remember that?
Little like YouTube highlights.
Yeah.
Neymar would have went to LA or nothing.
Yeah. So LA really, they had an offer out for him.
Him in LA would have been scary.
But he chose the money in Saudi. Can you
I don't blame
the guy?
him.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't mean they won't
Saudi
ever
offered me
come.
$1 billion to come podcast out there. I'm sorry, I'm out. They're gonna have to find a new. Kenny gonna have to take my spot.
So just to wrap up the Red Bull segment here, will there?
Hell yeah, I'll go back. Yeah, y'all should really go wherever you are in America. It's like St. Louis, because don't they even have like wherever you are in America, go
They're
see
like
your
the number
MLS
one
Go to
team.
your local MLS team,
bro.
Except-
Like,
yeah.
if you enjoy football, like it's an experience. I know.
Is that supporting a local business?
I'm 27 years old and I've lived in America my entire life, and this is a revelation. But still, dude,
Soccer in America.
it's worth it. It's fire. Because I've seen like, what's the team? Cosmos. I've seen them play at like a
Play at,
like a
Hofstra
college.
University.
Yeah, like But this was great.
A real professional
Yeah,
environment.
and if NYCFC is gonna build a legitimate stadium, I will absolutely pop
I would
up.
check it out, but I gotta stay loyal to my Red Bulls.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't buy a season ticket just because they're city affiliates. Like that's ridiculous. But to have it right there, because I don't even go to I don't go to Mets games and it's in Queens. I'm a Yankees fan,
So we know B's coming back. Nick, you're going back to a Red Bull game,
For sure.
and Juan will too.
And if it's
Yeah.
a Saturday, I'm getting drunk. I'm gonna drive up here so I get a ride. Kenny don't fuck with us outside the
producer Kenny
podcast.
out there. He'll
Unless we
make
start
appearance.
paying Kenny per pod, he's not coming outside the podcast to see us, bro.
Well, I want to just talk about the MLS real quick.
No,
It's-
not playing.
It's really cool how like St. Louis, I'm pretty sure they're like a new team or
Yeah.
Oh,
we-
yeah, this is their first year,
Expansion
and
team.
they clinched the playoffs
and
already.
they're the number one team in the West, which that's super cool
That's
to me.
fire.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like.
Do you know that the composition of their team? Is it like straight draft picks? Is it like open tryouts?
I think that's more of a Valente
Like-
So
question.
it's a little.
No, I feel you.
Turn that over to our MLS correspondent.
So like MLS has had a lot of expansion teams, and every time they get there's like an expansion draft, so they get the rights to certain players, but they also get like
Wait.
international spots.
So the expansion draft. Explain that to me. Is that like
So like,
a?
let's say they have like 3 teams entering in the next year. Each 3 teams will get to pick off of like certain players that are currently on other rosters.
What the hell?
But it's not like so if like you're a team that doesn't want to give up this player, you could declare this player not eligible for that specific draft. It's usually young players as well.
So how many allotments do I get? Can I say like each team you can't like 8 people cannot be on this list or 10 people
It has to
cannot
do
be?
more so with like the individual, but more so often than not, it'll be like 3 designated players. So like they have Roman Berkey, who used to be Dortmund's goalkeeper. He's a Swiss international, so he's kind of their like top signing. But then they also have like other proven MLS players that have been around the block for some time as well.
So
And it has a lot to do with their coaching. So it's like it's a combination of things, but it's a lot of the MLS expansion teams have found success right away.
So with the expansion teams, where do they fit into the college draft? Like how do they get
Usually they'll
like
get the
what
rights
like
for,
what pick
the
number
top,
do they get?
Right. So then usually they'll get like the top 3 picks, and then they could either keep that player or trade that player to another club for
What's
cash.
the contract for a top pick look like a number 1 pick?
I
What's that
think
looking like?
It's getting
for
higher and
MLS?
higher. I think the entry salary is now like 90K, 80K.
Like top pick,
For,
like
like, if
I'm the
you're-
number 1 pick out of college.
Yeah, 75K.
Shit, you could have got a
maybe.
That's
degree
just
and made more
crazy.
than that out of college.
That's crazy for me to think that like if I'm one of the best players in the United States,
My
and
ceiling
my salary is gonna be like 100K. You know,
Can I be honest? Can I
like
be honest?
if I'm the
It's entry
best
level,
player in
bro.
any other sport, I'm making millions right off the bat.
Can I be completely honest with
The
y'all?
level of every other sport in this country is much higher.
so much
than
higher.
Me personally,
MLS's soccer
I'd be the
level.
happiest
is true.
person
Yeah, bro,
on
that's
the
what I'm
planet.
saying.
Y'all make 100K a year to play
Play
soccer, bro.
And that's
If I made 30K a year to play soccer, I would also get a second job and still be the happiest
that's
person.
Like the
What,
entry,
bro?
That's like the entry level. The average MLS salary is like $500,000, 400K.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that
really?
goes up
Yeah.
because of
So,
the
like,
designated
miscellaneous
players that are
midfielder,
making
like,
millions, though.
I played in Long Island. I played in academy. I went to a good college. I got drafted mid-level, and I'm a solid journeyman in the MLS.
You're
How much
probably
am I
making
making
like
a year?
200K.
I want to know
A
the
year?
medium.
That's solid, bro.
The average doesn't do me justice. I need to know the medium because the average
That's
is
fair.
inflated by all the designated players.
by Messi and
Right.
I just
Right.
want to add in a quick fun fact: is that Red Bulls are in the bottom 5 net spend of MLS players.
Damn,
they're
I mean,
cheap.
that was-
that don't sound like a that don't sound like a big market team.
That's the thing.
Spend some money, but we need a
Red-
Carmelo.
the
Who's
Red
Melo?
Bulls-
in the MLS.
Who's Melo?
Yeah, we need Melo.
It's unfortunate though the way that the Red Bulls are established because they got the Red Bulls New York, they have RB Salzburg in Austria, and then they have RB Leipzig. So it's like the owners of Red Bulls prioritize which club gets a majority of their funding. Leipzig gets all the money they just recently are starting to, but for the most part, they need to focus on their talent that they're able to develop from their academy and try to sell them. But as far as like the the salary, that's only going up as well. But the structure needs to change now that Messi's here. It's like
he took all the salary for the next 2 years.
It's like they'll allow. There's definitely some loopholes with Inter Miami, but like some clubs aren't able to have that same spending because the league isn't being as flexible as they are with Miami.
Okay,
so I mean, like it's got to change for the league to keep because it's growing now so much quicker than it was in the last 10 years versus these now 10.
Who owns
when is
New
the
York?
MLS? My fault, B. You can go ahead.
I just want who owns New York? Do you know? Is it like cheap owners? Is it rich owners?
Red
is
Bull.
it? Oh, Red Bull.
Like
no shit.
the energy drink.
My
Yeah.
bad. That isn't retarded. But they own a lot though. Racing team.
Yeah, exactly.
Stunt team. Like, oh damn.
So the New
they
York
spread kind of
used to be
thin.
the New York, New Jersey Metro Stars.
Ew. What?
And then they got bought out in like 2008 or 2006, I think.
Ew.
Yeah.
And then rebranded.
The Metro Stars? I think I played for the Metro Eagles once. Metro Stars sound like an LIJSL team.
Just to get some
That's the cool thing.
confirmation
I used to
here.
like the MLS teams.
Columbus
like
Crew
that.
was fire. Columbus Crew was the best
Yeah,
name
you
ever.
know what I mean? I play for the crew.
Val,
Yeah.
so
Come
we
and
now
steal
have
shit, make you sick.
15 teams in the Eastern Conference, 14 in the Western. I'm assuming there's one more, I think,
Damn.
coming in San Diego, right? Or something like
Yeah,
that.
San Diego's in the
And then,
Do you know the name?
is
of
that it after that? Because
Definitely San
my
Diego.
question is, when is the MLS going to
Surge.
stop having more teams in the MLS
San Diego, sir.
and actually start focusing on the level and quality
quality. That's a
over
good question.
just having a
like a saturated league.
yeah, because all right, you're at almost 30 teams now. Every other top league in the world has 20 teams in it, basically.
I think they wanted to feel like other American leagues.
Right.
I think they want to make
They're
it
in
as
the franchise-
familiar as
the franchise
possible
mindset.
to.
So I think San
it
Diego's
more
the next
attractive.
one. Vegas is trying to get a team as well.
Shout out to Asia Wilson, Defensive Player of the Year.
But is there? I guess it helps a lot because America is having like the Copa America and
Yeah.
like the World Cup in the next
Hosting
coming
the World Cup,
years.
right? That's the league's prime opportunity to capture.
But
a wide
if I
variety
feel like
of,
if the MLS doesn't expand within the next couple of years, especially with the World Cup being here, it's done for the MLS.
Expand in what way? More
It's
teams?
never
or
going to
better
be
quality?
MLS will never be actually a top league in the world if it doesn't happen within the next couple of years.
And also,
I don't think that's a crazy take.
When the U.S. team plays at that World Cup, I'm interested to see how many of the starting 11 are MLS players.
None.
You know, that's in there.
That's not true. So there's center backs from the MLS. They have talented players.
Yeah, we're talking about in
That
4
older
years
guy,
now.
though, Ream, Tim,
Or 3
not
years.
Ream.
Tim Ream, the captain of Fulham, is from the MLS.
Yeah, I was about to say not
But
Ream.
he's been playing for
Not
Fulham
people
for a
who
minute.
started in the MLS or have caps in the MLS. I mean, like currently
Active
playing.
current player.
Playing in the-
I've always wondered that. Do they not? Are they not
Walker
quality
Zimmerman.
enough, or they just don't fish it, or is it like a bunch of diaspora? Like,
I think it has
'Cause I
to
know there's a
to
lot
do
of
about
Jamaican players in the league
The coaching
and-
staff at the time as well. You know, I think
politics.
you want to have a healthy mix. As like so for the United States top team, like their top players.
Who's the
are
best
in,
American player in the MLS right now?
like playing for the national team? Or
No, just the best American player.
if I had to
playing in
guess, somebody under the
MLS
age of
right now.
21.
you could make an argument for their center back Walker Zimmerman, who's playing for Nashville.
Walker Zimmerman. You sure he? How old is he?
He's got to be late
He
20s.
sounds 63.
And there's also this Argentinian guy from Cincinnati trying to change his citizenship over to the U.S.
Those are the best. Those are the best players.
So, but he
Because he can't play for the
'Cause he can't
Argentinian
make it for
national team,
Argentina,
so
you know?
He's like, let me get in on something.
so he plays center attacking mid. I mean, how many?
Hey, I had a friend when we were growing up. He couldn't make the USA U17 national team, but he made Jamaica's and had a good ass time doing it.
So it's tough
I don't
to say
blame him.
who the best.
Me neither.
But there's also like a lot of young talent coming up in the league too.
I feel like we've been saying that for a while.
Well,
All
a
the
lot of
young,
those-
all the talent goes to Europe. You know, it's really
That's their
That's
goal.
the job,
You
though.
know what we got
That's
to
the
do?
league's job
We
for
got to
them.
make a young American kid's dream to play in the MLS. Because when I was a kid, I didn't think about playing in the MLS.
Okay, but then you got players like Ricky Puig coming from
Ricky
Puig.
Puig?
Puig.
Where's he from?
IG.
Barca.
Barca
No.
wonder kid. Came here at like 23 years old. Plays for LA.
That's because he's like half a TikToker, you know, like
So is Jesse Lingard.
He's one of
What
those
are you,
players
half a
that
TikToker?
he's the reason why Piqué got in trouble with Shakira, because like they were hanging out too much and partying too much.
So he's the reason he let Shorty get in the jam.
He's one of those players that he obviously
Pogba.
likes soccer,
He
but
chose the lifestyle.
yeah, he wants that
likes
lifestyle.
what
That's
comes
why he
with
went to LA too, as well.
Yeah.
You know,
But is he not a young, talented player from Spain or from Europe coming to the MLS?
No, but my whole point
Of
is like we
course.
got to make it cool. I don't think the MLS is cool.
but I don't think he came here to play soccer. He came here because he wanted the lifestyle of living in LA.
Cause like
I'm with B.
Messi
I've
came,
been
right?
saying that for a
But
while.
like if I was like give me a random team in the middle of America.
Sporting Kansas City.
If I'm a Sporting Kansas City, like that's my vicinity, and I came to watch Messi play, what's the likelihood that I went to another Sporting KC game after that?
Unless they play really well.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
MLS
a lot of
needs to do
people are
something.
going
It's
to
just not
see-
cool.
Because people are
But,
going to
like-
these games just to see Messi, but they need to take that opportunity.
that's what I'm
and try
saying.
to
Spending
work
all that
on it.
money on Messi isn't necessarily gonna like make the league more popular. It's just making people.
Of course, it's going to make the league more popular.
Well,
It's
like for
bringing
the
more eyes on it.
for now, it's like a flash in the pan, but I don't think it's gonna like really grow
For the
league
next maybe 2 years.
foundationally. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think.
Right, they have an opportunity now that needs to be captured.
Yeah, they gotta capitalize on it definitely because they have the eyes now, so they gotta
And
give us something.
We can't underestimate the deal that they made with Apple as well. It's like Apple has all the rights to broadcast them, and Apple has a good job of marketing their product.
I gotta make a point though. The worst thing they've marketed so far is Apple TV. I saw a tweet the other day that wrapped it up perfectly. It was literally like Apple TV got the best shows that nobody watched.
Yeah, the Apple TV is separate from the MLS Pass, but I'm just talking about the amount.
But you got to go on the app to watch it, right?
Right, but if you have,
feel like nobody- I don't
MLS
even-
Season Pass is separate than Apple TV. So
Okay,
it's
because
separate.
I was saying I have Apple TV and
I'm-
I use it so I can just go
I'm
quickly
just
to
talking
what
about
I was
the
watching on
coverage.
other apps.
Like if you want to watch Seattle versus Vancouver at 10:30 at night
don't
on the
even
East
sound
Coast, you could do that because of Apple.
Okay.
So there's a lot more wide coverage available.
So like
now.
before Apple got involved, that was
Wait,
like
how
clip.
is there
I
more
wasn't watching
wide
that.
coverage when before I used to watch every MLS game on ESPN Plus?
I don't think not every game was available.
Almost, I feel like every game.
I promise you it was not, because I tried to watch most of the games and it wouldn't let me.
So Apple
remember
has
there being a
everything.
lot.
Every
Yeah.
game, it's like NFL
Apple-
Red
any
Zone.
Game, right? No, exactly. Maybe not that's like all at once coverage, but if you want to watch a Chicago Fire game because of Shaqiri, you could do that because of Apple MLS Season Pass.
How much is that season pass?
It's like $15 a month.
But
it's
if you
included-
have
it's
Apple
included in
TV,
our-
there's-
Once a month?
Yeah.
Can I make a
Oh
point?
my god!
But it was included in
I
my
might as
season
well just go to a
ticket.
Red Bull game.
Shit. But also, like, I don't think you should be having such a. It's not even that high. Well, nowadays it is. I don't think you should have a barrier to entry. Period. If you're trying
Oh,
to
I
grow your
agree.
league,
That's a
I
whole
could watch
other-
the NBA whenever I feel like. I just turn on cable and watch
that's a whole
NBA.
other conversation.
I could turn
That's
on
greed.
Sunday. I could turn on ABC, NBC, and I
No,
could watch
but There's a
NFL.
problem with Sky Sports and broadcasting games in England. They're being
That's
very
true.
selective about what games.
I've
they're
seen a
able
lot
to
of
play.
English fans complain about not being able to watch Prem in England.
So it's that's a whole other topic that we could.
But that's
talk
their
about,
sport. That's
but
like me
yeah.
not being able to watch the MLB in America. That's like
or the NFL.
that's like
yeah.
unconstitutional at a point.
I
You
think-
know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
think B's point about like making the MLS cool is like,
yeah, as soon as it's
can't be
cool,
understood.
like if you can
certain
get like a
leagues in this
real
country are like cool and ingrained in things bigger than just
NBA is so
the
fucking
sport.
cool.
Like the NBA,
It is so
the
cool.
NFL.
NFL's
Whether you
cool as
actually,
fuck.
Like the sports, it's like
Aaron Judge was cool
they
for a little
found
bit.
ways to make it cool. where, like,
So the MLS has been is just as old as we are. The league started
Yeah.
in '96. The
Whoa, whoa,
NBA
whoa, whoa! You putting out mad information, baby.
Didn't you say you're 27?
I
Really?
did.
But my point is, like, there's a lot of legacy with
So-
the current leagues now, but the MLS is making
you're 27. Shouldn't you be cool by now?
Oh shit! What the fuck? Damn!
straight bullets. Here.
Jesus Christ!
All right.
But I think as soon as America is able to make the young phenom athlete want to be a soccer player and not a basketball player or a football player or
I think we're currently living through
probably
that.
those two.
I really think we're seeing that, and we're gonna see the effects of that.
I don't think the best young athlete. Like, I mean, just like, damn, that kid got athletic ability. Like probably what Travis Hunter looked like when he was a kid. What if they made him a soccer player when he was a kid?
Well, it all depends on what the athlete would be interested in.
That's the thing. But he's interested in what, like, drives culture and what's cool and like the first thing you see. So like an American kid, strictly American, his dad, the first game his dad takes him to is probably not going to be a soccer game.
Well, right, well now we're getting into a cultural discussion where it's like,
yeah, we have to make sure, like, if you want to be, like, if you want to grow the league, you have to ingrain yourself in the culture. So
the cultural relevance in America is growing, and Messi helps add that for the average American. But like us we all have outside culture from not just America.
Yeah, we're tainted. We're all first generation kids. So that shit, like, we don't really, like, if you're an American, like 5 generations, your first game your dad's taking to you is never going to be a soccer game, in my opinion. I don't think that's going to, like, the majority is going to be a football or a baseball or a basketball.
Right.
And that's the first thing you're going to see. And you're like, damn, my dad thinks it's cool.
Because
so
the
I
soccer
think this
games
is cool.
weren't broadcasted like
I'm
they
only a
are
United
now.
fan because my pop sit me in front of the TV and was like, this is soccer. You like it? Cool.
And I mean, I know some things are changing in the sense that, like, I've definitely spoken to some parents who are like, "Oh, my kids are not playing football." But
CTE has changed a lot.
Right.
So, like,
right.
I get that, but like, the day that there's a player on the national team who's like charismatic, I think that's gonna do a lot.
Yeah,
more
absolutely.
For, like, soccer in America than like where Pulisic is a good player.
Because like Timmy has that cool factor, but he's not famous like that. Like the average teenager don't know, like, Timmy.
He's very low key about him though. He's not very.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he does. He's like,
but like Weston McKennie kind of does.
But I think like part of like that personality comes with actually just being the best, and no American players like Maradona talk that way because.
The best, all right, put it like this: the best.
Ronaldo can talk that way because he has
the best 16-year-old athlete in America right now, like the most physically gifted athlete's not playing soccer, so he's not talking that shit, and he's not that cool, and he's not getting these thousands of billions.
Athlete to be the best soccer,
right?
Player.
That's
but the best soccer player, the best young soccer player in America, don't got no followers on Instagram like that. As opposed to like a Mikey Williams did when he was 16, 17. It's just not cool. Like they have AAU. Yeah. They have all these Pearl Jam, EYB. Like they have so much to put themselves on display and for little kids to say, I want to do that one day. There's nothing like that for us.
There's nothing on Instagram that shows like highlight reels of like
I'm just
like kids.
that.
When I was little, I wanted to go to the Disney tournament. That was cool as shit to me. Yeah. But like, how many kids my age knew what that was? And they was thinking about AAU. All my friends playing AAU.
But a personality, I think, like Conor McGregor in UFC. I don't watch UFC. I don't know much about it.
I'm willing to bet more kids are doing UFC now than in 2005.
And like,
yeah,
it brings more.
People gravitate towards.
You need an asshole.
Some of those in the MLS.
You know why though? Too, soccer is a harder sport to talk your shit and back it up, if that makes sense, because it's not solely in your control, right? So if I'm on a court with 9 other guys and I talk my shit, I could really make something shake. If I'm on a tennis court, I can make something shake. If I'm on the football field, depending on my position, I can make something shake.
That's what I'm saying.
Soccer is like I can't be the cockiest center back.
There's a lot of barriers that need to be broken in soccer, though. Like for a player of an American to go, like you look at Pulisic playing for a legacy club like AC Milan right now. That can't be the accomplishment. That's what we got to change. The accomplishment can't be he's nice. He made it to Europe. That's the problem. Right. That's what I mean. Like we got to get past that mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
To grow further, but
once you get it to like, yo, he's nice, bro. He plays for LAFC. That's when you have the best athletes and
that takes time. But I think the league now is in the best position it's ever been, and there's just so much to be excited about. There's just so much opportunity. So
how do they grow it though? Like that's what I'm trying. Like the whole time I'm sitting here saying like it has to be cool. I can't tell you how to make that league cool. I'm trying to think about it right now. I don't know. Like you got to really you got to put work in. Like if I'm the Red Bulls, I'm in the community. Like I'm giving away free tickets to middle schools. Like I'm having players pull up and like play with them at recess or like put on free clinics in the summer.
To get the
like,
local people
back to school, back to school shit. Come get a backpack and play with the Red Bulls for and then you could pick up some kids like, yo, he's kind of nice. You want to bring him to the academy? You never know.
Professional game for literally 1/6 of the price of a Knicks game,
easily. And when I was a kid, they had allotments. Like I used to go to a Nets game every year. Like my friend's dad used to get like he played basketball. They used to send his dad 30 tickets to bring the team to a Nets game. We was up in this tent, but we got a Nets practice jersey, a free hot dog, and a soda. Bro, I still and it was like if I was told or I was interested in basketball, I'd have wanted to play for the Nets. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Because of that experience. So they got to put the work into it. I don't remember the last time I saw Red Bulls do anything. The last thing I remember as a kid, they had Futbolito at Corona Park, and they had some Red Bull players out there, and they would sign jerseys and sign balls. Yeah. That's the most I ever seen them do in my life. And they're my age. So 27 years and you really...
They do things like that. No, they do. But it's more
then if I don't know, I don't know.
Perks for season ticket holders. Where if you're like a season ticket holder, there might be like a meeting.
But you're already a fan. Like, no disrespect, I don't got to get you. Yeah. Like, keeping you is harder than getting a new fan. And I'm not going to get a new adult fan. So I got to be in the like ground level with the kids.
And I would
in my opinion,
it'd be better in the community considering how many like homegrown players the Red Bull has.
Quite literally, like I'm from right here. Send me home to go do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
There's probably like 4
what high school we went to.
On that right? So it's like
that's where they get their talent from.
He grew up his entire life in New York. You could send him to his kindergarten, his middle school, his high school, his college, and do a whole. We sending him here to go and bring your teammates and do. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta want it too. Like when the last, I'm sure Salt Lake City FC or whatever they call don't do nothing in their community like that. Like they're just a team. They're not a part of the like because soccer fans for the most part love their teams because that's where they're from, right? Like I'm a Leeds fan because I'm from Leeds. The stadium is right in town. Like I love this side. Or you Jabbo. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been another week, another night, another day with the Over the Top podcast. It's been Chris, Nick, Brandon, and Juan coming at you with all the football commentary and content you could possibly want. You know what I'm saying? Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment down below your favorite or your the games we did. Do that in the comments. You know what I'm trying to say.
Let us know who you thought.
It's been real, y'all. See y'all next week.